Ragnaros burns a fiery rune onto the ground, which explodes after a brief delay for heavy damage to any enemy standing on top of it.
Team Liquid and Tricked Esport are going to game number 5. I am so excited for this, the final match of the day here in Europe. We're going to BOE, and Tricked Esport has chosen it.
This is actually pretty fantastic. I mean, not only do we end up with, no matter how this ends, basically the same amount of maps that we had the last time these two teams faced each other, but Tricked has a strong showing here. I feel like the games they lost, they had a few mistakes that can be worked on. So overall, a very, very strong showing for them here. And just imagine if they now take down Misfits.
That would be insane and such a good storyline for them. Yeah, right? They could totally set themselves up to be great for the next 5 weeks. So here, let's do it. BOE. First ban, it's going to be Arthas, Tricked Esport. On the right side, we'll have their ban. And what an exciting battleground to go to. This is, I feel like, is a battleground that really comes down to decision making. You have 1 or 2 moments that you could potentially lose the game or win the game off based on your shot calling.
This is a big team fighting battleground for sure as well, because you have in the middle just like so much action happening when that stalemate kicks in. So we're going to see a lot of direct damage. We have Lucio already for the playmaking skills. Expect the Greymane here, of course. The Vala, I wouldn't be really too worried about seeing her as well. The arrow build is usually strong, and so far we have Tricked seen use that on every single map. So, immortal pressure.
Has actually ran Tyrande in the past. This is a battleground that she can be good on. They ran it on Dragonshire. So, things to consider. All the weird picks come out here in game number 5 between our two teams. So, Lucio now picked up 2nd and 3rd slot now for Team Liquid. I think I agree with you. You get the Greymane here, or he gets banned out.
I would say so. It could also end up in with Trick just trying to pick him. Greymane is chunking away at the hit points of the Immortal whenever. But the early Vala prioritization makes a lot of sense for me, the way they've played it. But as we said, unlikely that Greymane is going to make a long, like that he doesn't get picked up early in the draft. So we have Team Liquid actually going for him. And guess who? It's again a Nubarak. They love him.
Yep. Nubarak being picked up. Tricked Esport, if they don't want Zarya, you usually want to try and get rid of him here, or get rid of her here, as Zarya can really enable the dive-ins from Greymane. If there is a spot where they want to go for a defense, she can poke like crazy. She can be kind of a pain. There is a possibility, though, for Tricked Esport to grab it for themselves and really have a solid safety net for that Vala.
Yeah, now as it comes to the bans, of course, now is the question of how exactly, what do you want to get rid of here? It's actually one of those things where you can still think about banning out a global that can be used on the map. It can give you sometimes a bit of an edge, but I don't really feel like on this map in particular, Tricked is too worried. I really feel this is a battleground that caters towards their strength. Yep. And they get rid of the Ragnaros, which also makes sense. He's also quite strong. And one of the reasons is that, again, he can slow down the map quite a bit. He can really protect your structures once your opponent picks up an Immortal.
It's great defense, great top laner, can sit there all day, clear out the lane. So Team Liquid looking into their ban here. The Arthas ban being taken away has always been solid as well. Looking into prior picks here for Tricked, is there anything that would really jump out for them in particular? I have seen Zeratul in the past from Eternal, and this is one of the battlegrounds where if he gets really sneaky, he can be a pain.
The one thing that I would really think about right now is the front line. You already banned out the Arthas and you're trying to lock him down there. The ETC has been their go-to after that, so take that out. Because are they going to be afraid of a Johanna here?
Not really.
Don't really think so. It could still be a pick for them since Alex feels very comfortable on her. But the ETC was always one of the go-to heroes, and he can fill so many roles in this setup. They decide in favor of banning out the variant instead. Like, if you remember the last few bans that they had, they usually just banned out one of the combo, either the Arthas or the variant, to just make sure that that heavy control doesn't exist for the opponent. So they leave ETC actually up for grabs. It's actually interesting to me to see that they are more afraid of facing the variant than the ETC.
Well, I think you kind of alluded to it earlier. ETC is a hero that Alex Aproji doesn't feel so comfortable on. So maybe you think, all right, in a moment where it's game number 5 and things come down to the wire, we take away the variant, which is a simple taunt, and give away the ETC, and maybe a mistake could happen.
But I don't think he would be on the hero anyways. I actually think they would just like give him. Yeah, exactly. So I think if they play the ETC, take it over, and there's the Johanna that I've been pointing out a bit earlier. I could have seen them just go into a combo again, and Alex just like switching it up completely. So that was more the train of thought here for myself.
Sure.
And they could actually still do that. It's not really the most common combo, I mean the Johanna and the ETC, but it has actually happened.
Gives them the ability to get engaged and be very disruptive on their opposing Immortal. And if you get a knockback into the engage, you're good to go. Lenara will be coming out here for the first time today,
Okay.
I believe.
I'm still thinking about the potential aspect for them, and we have seen... I could see the Oriel again.
Ariel? Yeah, with Vala and Lunara. Oh, yeah, easily here.
I mean, they've been playing so much Malfurion and Oriel. We've seen that here. We have the combo with the Lunara. We have the combo with the Vala. You have a single front line in this case. That would really work well for them. Also, you have to think about how do we do a deal with the Greymane when he jumps in. Is the Malfurion really going to be the one to save the Lunara? Probably not. But if you have an Oriel, Detainment Strike, and you're gone. And then the Burst Heal. So if they can, I would say Oriel is once again going to be their weapon of choice here.
And Team Liquid will pick up Medivh and Li Ming.
Scary as well.
So they're all about the boss race, it looks like, with the Nubrak having the Impale and the Burrow charges to make sure to keep people away. Medivh can give them the portals to get out of the fight, especially Lucio. They have escaped like no other.
Yeah, and that might actually change things up a little bit for them. Keep in mind that Medivh is also into a Malfurion, so Malfurion will try and use his roots on portals to just shut that play down a bit. Tricked, having played the double support with the solo frontliner just previously, is hesitating here quite a bit. There's basically only two options. You either go into another melee, or you are saying, okay, we play that with a double support as we did before. And you have for Team Liquid the shields together with Lucio, so that's great synergy for them. Since Lucio, of course, doesn't really have that very bursty heal that other heroes have. Usually want to try and apply shield with Medivh so that Lucio can get the heal of our time in. But yeah, let's see if Trick goes for... No, they go into a Charism instead of the Oriel now. All right.
Charism gives them the opportunity to also help with the race against Team Liquid. So if someone does get on it first, or there is an unfavorable spawn for the Immortal, you could turn around at least race and get shields lower. So there are tools for both of our teams to actually do pretty well in the race.
I'm wondering a little bit about the Heroic. Usually when we have a double support with the Charism, you go into the 7-sided, but then you end up again with a scenario where you do not really have something like a panic button if that Greymane jumps in. So do you go into Palm here?
I think you go Palm just because Medivh's floating around here. Medivh, again with that Force of Will, can be enough to negate that 7-sided strike and set yourself up for a fight. I think you just go for the Palm.
You go for the Palm, you play damage Charism besides that.
Yeah.
Could work out for them, yeah. It's like the last time they played with the Oriel, and I like that actually a lot. You have enough heroes also here that can really work with the energy. As you said, is a bit more damage towards the Immortal too. You can argue if they really need it, since they have Vala with an arrow build, plus on top of that also Lunara. But I really think if they want to race the Immortal, every point of damage counts.
Yeah, and the more I think about it, I actually kind of like Tricked Esports' racing potential, just because they can get 4 members on top of the Immortal, and you can literally afford Johanna to go over and blind it. If you hit that Greymane, that's enough damage for you to delay for your team to actually walk away with the Immortal phase and get an aggressive push.
No, definitely. That's going to be a huge point in this one as well, so yeah.
Cool. So I think our two teams will be setting up here for BOE. All on the line, Caldor. Game number 5. Who wins, Tricked Esport or Team Liquid?
I have no idea.
No idea.
None at all. After this, I have no clue.
That's not how we play. We have to be the experts up here, so you got to make a call, man.
Do you have a coin?
I think can't believe I'm saying this. I think I go with Tricked.
I'm rooting for Tricked just because they had a very rough season so far, and they deserve a win. Okay. My boys on the side of Team Liquid do as well, and I love them, but I feel Tricked has suffered a lot this season, and a victory for them would mean a lot.
Let's find out. Game number 5, Battlefield of Eternity, Tricked Esport, hoping for a win against Team Liquid. Can they do it? Here we go.
Jumping into the game. It is the 5th map in the best of 5 series. Tricked Esports going up against Team Liquid, and all the way to the left we once again have in blue Team Liquid with Hazorpst on Medivh, Darkmog on Greymane, Splendor on the Lucio, Nurok on Li Ming, and Blumby on the Bug.
Tricked Esport in the red. Nape playing the Malfurion. It's going to be actually Rimmer there on the Lunara. Alex Saprogi will be on Johanna. Krasby will be on the Vala. And then last but not least, Eternal on the Charism. And why not? Eternal just has the mechanics that Charism can just excel with if played properly.
Eternal is one of the players that has an incredible amount of talent, and it really shows. Like, he's incredibly strong. And it is really fascinating that this comes down to the 5th map once again, as it did the last time. And right now we talked a lot about how we feel, and a lot of people feel, that Tricked Esports is very far down the standings, considering of what people expected heading into the first season, and what they themselves thought where they would be placed. So this showing against one of the strongest teams that we have in this league is a pretty cool indicator of how this season will run, because I think we're in for a lot of great games and very tense battles.
I just love the progress that they've shown.
Yeah.
You know, there's a few matches where they just kind of get bodied out a little bit. There's a few where they hold in, but right now I just feel like they've found their identity and they can only go up from here.
Progress is also a very good point, because I mean, one of the main reasons why we have HGC in the first place is because it provides not only the audience with constant games to watch, but also the players with just an endless stream of games where they can practice, where they can get better, and where just the level of skill always rises. And that progress is something that we don't not only see in Tricked, but in all of the teams participating in the league.
These drafts have actually made an interesting scenario happen, by the way, in the top lane. Team Liquid has Greymane sitting up there, which is actually a pretty solid solo laner, but Rimmer was actually in the lane against a Greymane, and Eternal has walked up there to help out clearing as the Immortal spawns will set up. The name of the game for both of these teams is to be the first one to your Immortal. Whoever gets there first should be able to walk away with a race. We have Team Liquid getting on top of the Immortal, is starting to burn it down. Greymane has been slow to the rotation, so Tricked Esport will actually move to the top right, and Team Liquid decides to go for a hard engage with the portal.
I also have to disagree a bit with this, because I really don't think that Team Liquid can afford to raise. I don't think they're anywhere near the damage potential that we have for Tricked Esports. I feel they are the ones who have to try and go for, like, look for a fight or at least a possible engagement.
And they do that with the portal. They started on the Immortal looking like they definitely did want a slight race, and the moment that they got eyes on Tricked Esport, the portal was dropped and they dived on in. Now Blumby is sitting around the side here waiting for an opponent to maybe get out of position for him to burrow charge on. And everyone from Tricked Esport is spread out as much as they can. And as I say that, they get hit by a huge orb there from Neuro.
Alex is in a bit of trouble here, popping his Iron Skin already early, and yep, he's down. That was an issue, and he popped it. The stun circles appeared on the ground from the Immortal, and at that point you already knew, okay, he is going to have a rough time getting out of this one. He's indeed getting picked off, and now Team Liquid can focus on the Immortal and starts moving in, whereas Tricked is shifting over their stance a little bit to go more on the defensive, waiting for Johanna to be back in the game.
Luckily for Tricked, the death timers are relatively low here in the early game. They're able to get back and start defending their Immortal, especially with the solid play from Rimmer, applying just enough pressure on Team Liquid where they didn't actually commit to attacking that Immortal. 4-4 for our teams in terms of experience. There is a big engage here in the bottom right, though, as a Nubrak dives on top of Lunara and gets the takedown.
Yeah, Lunara is out, and that is just staggering kills at this point. So we have Trick moving in with Eternal, trying to apply a bit of damage with his damage charism, but also the focus onto the Immortal again. Another 3 seconds until Bambi is back, and we have in the meantime the fight raging. Darkmonk needs to be careful. He's eating a lot of damage, especially from Crosby on Vala.
Luckily, Splinter here with that Lucio will be able to heal him on up and then get ready for the next Immortal phase as they take a solid lead here in terms of damage on opposing Immortals. Tricked Esport is forced to help out with the defense. Vala on the other side is working on dealing with the Immortal himself. Blumby will be able to burrow charge away as Eternal goes in for punches.
Yeah, barely getting out of there. Eternal himself dashing away now. We still have Vala dealing with the Immortal, has already done quite a fair amount of damage. They can actually start racing this again, and they do. Alex is very much alone here. Once again, has to be a bit careful, but does. And they are going to win the Immortal. They take it. They actually win it.
Crosby working on the Immortal to begin with. Solid work overall. Li Ming fell low on mana, and the shot call was made. Tricked Esports delivers.
And that's exactly the thing. Like with the arrow build and on Vala and the Lunara, this is just so much damage output. Racing is going to be super easy for Trick. They were actually far behind here and managed to come out ahead anyways. It's not really the most dangerous Immortal ever created on this map. I mean, that's basically no shields at all, but you're still going to get value out of it. And Tricked has shown that if Team Liquid at one point messes up, they're going to take that Immortal within seconds.
Tricked Esport pushes the bottom here to get the turrets here, to get the experience moving towards 7. Lunara helped out with the Immortal at the top to keep a soaking experience as well. Overall, Team Liquid defends very well though, still tied up in experience. They're moving hard over to level 7. Watching Trick now, where is their next play as Blumby is rotating down for a potential team fight around these Impalers?
I really think that Trick is going to just try and take their camps at appropriate moments, and this is also going for the Impaler camp, but also, of course, for the Shaman camp. They're going to try and get a few of those, but I don't really think that they necessarily want to force the fights right now. They can literally sit there, just play it safe and wait for the next Immortal, because they know that's when they have an advantage with the comp that they're running here.
Team Liquid will get the Impalers and start poking on the bottom turrets, hoping to grab their own experience, and that can get them actually closer to level 8 as they seem to be slightly ahead of their opponents. Greymane is in the top against Lennar still, and Team Liquid just posturing. It seems like you're right. Tricked Esports is going to float around, wait for that Immortal to spawn, which should be in the next few minutes. I am a little bit worried when level 10 does hit for Team Liquid. They do have the possibility to go in for a hard engage on Tricked Esports and take out a Vala or a Lenaro with that go for the throw, and once the resets start hitting, Neurok should be able to go off.
Resets is definitely one of the things that they need to be worried about. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But with Tricked maybe getting another Immortal, they can try and get the early level 10 and try to make a play of that. They also have a couple of really nice tools that they can use in this particular setup now. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to run with the Karazim here. Immortals now spawning, and we have the camps taken. So this is really like, this is one of the moments where Tricked has to show up. This is one of the fights that they are one of the Immortals where they have to show the strength of their composition.
And they're prepared for it. They sent Malfurion back home to get the mana to set up to make sure that he has the ability to heal out his teammates and they can go for this race. The race does begin, and Tricked Esports is already set up, dropping it down to almost half health where Team Liquid has yet to do any damage. They finally will start.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, it's literally like Team Liquid is just looking there. Wait, what? The Immortal is already here? And it's bam on half health. This is how fast Trick can just burn these down. And this is why Liquid, once again, has to be more defensive with this now.
Team Liquid does have a bit of a trump card setup as they put pressure on the top with the Impalers, which does bring Vala over to deal with that, which should make Team Liquid go for an engage. I need to see a portal from Hostile Ops and they dive in on that backline and look for that support if possible, with Vala not being around for the fight.
Also, look how Alex is using his Iron Skin very, very late. He's always accepting the first stun and is just using it late if he really needs it. This is one of the trademarks of a Johanna player that knows what she's doing. If you just spam that thing too much, the cooldown is so long that you find yourself in trouble once your opponent goes in for the second attack. So he's very patient with this, and he's the only tank at the front line. And now they can engage, and he still has that safety that he knows if something happens, like now, he can still go straight for the Iron Skin and just back off.
Tricked, realizing that their opponents were slightly ahead of experience, go in for the hard engage. Proji does hit the Condemn. There is Napa inside. Eternal diving in. Splendor is low on health. He's praying to stay alive, and he starts to heal his Darkmoth as well. Low. Alex Proji pulling them in for a fight, and the Punisher or the Immortal will now be focused down by Tricked Esport, but Darkmoth turning in for the engage with the force of will to assist.
Nice dash on Eternal. Immortal nearly falling, but that's not the only thing. All of a sudden, the shield on Greymane as he's trying to escape here. Still Crosby poking away with his Vala, getting the shots in. Only 3,700 hit points left on Team Liquid's Immortal. And once again, Tricked Esports on the move to the front.
Team Liquid needs to make something happen now. They keep chunking Johanna, but she keeps walking away with Eternal there for the assist as well as Nape. 10 finally about to hit, but Tricked Esport can toss out a few of their abilities, especially being so close to already winning the Immortal phase.
And also, we have now Johanna down to the bottom of the map. She's trying to get the experience here. Liquid focusing the Immortal, but up at the top, everybody jumping in, trying to get it right here. Portal on the ground, Napa in trouble. He's eliminated. Alex is going for it, and he will get the Immortal for his team together with Eternal.
Can Team Liquid get another kill, though? If they can focus down Eternal. We do have Greymane fall on the top right. They're focusing on the Palm. Comes out at the last second, though, to keep him alive. Big leyline seal, and Team Liquid is forced to retreat, and the Immortal will go to the top lane.
Douchebag Medivh right there. Finally, the level 10 kicks in for Trick. They're like, okay, boys, we're ready to go. They are all said and done. They get even the kill against Greymane, and Medivh is just like, nope. Throws out his gold and is like, nope, we're going to walk away now.
Medivh with the
Feels bad, man.
He'll have that lane line still another 50 seconds, but Tricked Esport just pushes the top, and they should be awarded a 4 here and potentially keep wall. We're going to have Darkmoth continuing to work in that gunning cocktail to make sure that he is hitting that back line. Darkmoth does get hit by the Condemn into the root. Did he make a mistake? Sound barrier popping out. He's turning around for the fight, and Darkmoth gets the takedown thanks to the huge sound barrier from Lucio.
Eternal falling here, and once again they escape through the portal. And I have to give a bit of a shout out to Hazops. I mean, I was just joking a bit about that leyline seal that we saw, but he is amazing with those shields, protecting especially the Greymane. And Darkmog is having so much trust. Sometimes he's down to like 15-20% HP, and he's still looking for an engage because he knows Hazops is there. And every time you see someone on the side of Tricked Esports just barely escape, there's immediately a portal right on top of him. Sometimes not being used, but there's always that threat where you just say like, dude, get away from the portal or we're gonna go through it and you will die. Yeah. So Hazops on the Medivh doing a fantastic job right now.
Liquid's teamwork really showing through, and as a note, the Master's Touch is actually already done for Medivh. He's got enough Qs on and there that he can potentially die now, and you see him playing a little bit more aggressive compared to what he was doing earlier. Darkmuck is in the bottom left. Here, I'm watching him constantly. He's the main one that starts these fights. As you were mentioning, he has the trust of his teammates to go in for the engages, so he's the one typically getting in the engage, and Blumby follows up with the impale.
It's both teams here. Alex sometimes moving in so deep because he knows that his teammates have his back. And that communication, that synergy that we have between the team members, this is really something that sets the pro scene apart. Once again, we're having them go for Blumby here, poking on both sides with Li Ming just throwing out orbs and missiles the entire time. And both of the teams so close in experience. But Team Liquid has lost that fort at the top lane and is getting pressured down here at the bottom as we once again have another Immortal announced on the map.
Constant back and forth. Blumby getting the force of will. So it looks like Crosby might turn around and drop a Hungering Arrow. Hostile going to retreat down. They're going to start grabbing these mercs on the left and the right so they can have pressure on their opponents. This goes more in the favor of Tricked Esport because this mercenary camp will push the top and look for a keep wall, whereas Team Liquid will only hit the fort in the bottom right. This is kind of a reward for Tricked Esport doing so well in terms of Immortal control.
13, both of them. This is like the moment when you think about, okay, how do we approach this? Do we get the early 13? Do we just try to go for the fight? And Liquid, they know they can't waste any time. They need to face the music in the middle of the map, so they are not even trying to soak the experience. Actually, Medivh, as I said, moves to the bot lane to gain a bit of the experience over there, but it looks like Trick is going to hit the talent just a tiny bit faster.
Yeah, also that's probably one of the best to soak that in that bird form. Also get portal in if he needed to for the last second save on one of his teammates. Li Ming is in a good spot here where she can start poking on the Immortal, and they're doing so. And that forces Tricked Esport to come in for the engage. And I like the untimidness of Alex Aproji and his team. They just keep moving forward and making sure not to allow Team Liquid to ever set up.
Big deal here. Top lane is still assailed by the camp that Trick took. On the other hand, Vala went to the bot lane and took the camp apart of on the Team Liquid side. That forces Greymane top, and already there's an experience lead, but now we have 13 also on the side of Team Liquid, but still Greymane missing should trigger an attack by Tricked Esports.
Yep, they came in, they got a small chunk there. Greymane should be coming back relatively soon. He did just disappear from the mini-map, so Tricked Esport will have to back up. Lots of back and forth in this tug-of-war between our two teams. Alex Aproji still full on health. Those healers keep him alive. Massive lane line seal. Here comes a big orb. Nappy focused down. Blumby goes on in. Crosby with a strafe should be able to get the kill on a Nubrak. 1-for-1 trade before our teams.
Yeah, and once Lucio escapes through the portal, it looks like the fight resets with both teams walking away with 4 heroes. But Hazops, the god on Medivh right now. Another great leyline seal hitting 4. They're actually lucky that they only lost 1 here.
Yeah, Darkbuck can be a bit more aggressive here now without the threat of Root coming his way, and also the poke should be a little bit better with Malfurion not being there to heal.
Also, with Malfurion, one of the biggest parts was he was able to get his ult off. That was actually huge for them. If that doesn't pop, then I think they lose way more than only 1 hero here.
The silence being enough to keep them alive, and Tricked Esport is poking, hoping to get to the Immortal phase pop before Malfurion does show on up. Team Liquid will have some time before they have their heroics again. 25 seconds for Leyline Seal and 20 seconds for Sound Barrier. So they are posturing very safe because their opponents' cooldowns are coming up now.
This is an absolutely amazing 5th game. I'm loving it. Both of the teams here really doing the work. More kills for Liquid, but we have Tricked with that all that power against the Immortal. They're slightly ahead. They're going in once again. Alex up at the front as we have Greymane jumping in. Alex also in this case barely getting out of that second stun, gets the Unstoppable and moves away. It's just a constant back and forth in the middle of the map between the two of them.
Yeah, they're just barely edging out small victories here, and the Tricked Esport was ahead in terms of Immortal race, but now Team Liquid is closing the gap. Major problem that we need to start thinking about is Lunaria at level 16 just increases so much in terms of damage. Big Leyline Seal coming out on the right side. It's going to connect with just Karazim, but Eternal doesn't care as his teammate's there for the assist. Blumby is forced to retreat with his team there. He drops the impale just to make sure that they are safe, but the Immortal phase finally won there in the halftime show for Tricked Esport.
This is a great position actually for Trick to just burst it down a little bit more. But that move from Hazops, even though it didn't really hit properly, the idea itself was just like awesome how he set this up. Yeah, there comes the palm on Rema. Doesn't pop though. They're moving away, and guess what? Again, they're getting the Immortal.
Splendor boosted his teamo. They're wanting to get some kills here. They need to get the team fight. There goes the chunk. Johanna does fall. Alex Aproji will be forced to go to the death screen for a few moments, but that kill was needed for Team Liquid so they would have an easier defense.
And the thing is, really, you can see that the position of the Immortal just basically dictates how the fights are working out. Because once that you have an Immortal on the safe side that someone can attack, the only thing that happens is that Vala stays behind, drops arrow after arrow after arrow, and that Immortal is gone. So this is going to be crucial also for the next few Immortals. But as you said, the kill against Johanna was extremely important here because it allows Team Liquid to more easily defend here. They lose the fort at the bot lane, but that's about it.
I'd rather lose a fort than a keep wall or even
Yes.
damage on my Kiva at this point. With Tricked Esport playing so well. Lunara one level away from that 16 now. Of course, Greymane in the late game just as powerful. He's able to jump onto a target, but this double heal type of compositions, pseudo with Medivh, but Karazim and Malfear on the other side. The dance back between these two teams has been such a joy to watch as the Impalers in the bottom to the very far south is now grabbed by Tricked.
It's so fun to watch them. It's actually so cool to see that. And so the four-man ley line seal. And that second approach where he just like sets that portal up perfectly, and you could see like Karazim still running away and trying like, no, it doesn't catch me, and then just on the end of it, it still gets him. Doesn't matter in that case, but still, like, the idea of Hazovs to get another one of these big ults in, that was beautiful. Johanna, on the other hand, having a bit of trouble here, getting healed once again. Hazovs is moving in, drops the ley line. Dodged by everyone except for Alex, and he should still be able to get out of this. Maybe not. There's the palm. They wait it out, and they take him down.
So well played there by Team Liquid. The final kill. Ironskin about to pop for Johanna. The palm not getting proc, though, was just enough for Team Liquid to secure the takedown. They'll grab the fort. And during all of that, they had a small window where they hit 16 before their opponents, and they capitalized.
Yeah, they capitalized by stealing also another camp away. So this is like the best case scenario. They steal away the camp on the right side with the 16 advantage and the 4 versus 5 on the map. Johanna's going to come back in just a bit, just in time for the next big move towards the middle of the map where the Immortals are going to spawn. But down here, Eternal needs to make sure that he gets out of this situation or he's going to be in trouble.
Narok applying some damage. The team will make the call to walk away. Eternal turns around to apply some punches himself here. 16 now popping up, which means that suddenly Karazim does have a little bit more damage there. The way of the 100 Fist is going to be very helpful for diving on top of that Li Ming. Crosby low on health, though. And he's getting poked down. He does fall. The silence even being used by Nappy.
All right, that was bad by Crosby. That should not have happened. Now they lost the Immortal. Liquid has a massive lead, and they are not a team that will waste such an advantage. At this point, they have Greymane already on the Immortal, and Vala dying there is really worst case scenario. It was already a little bit iffy with them just getting Johanna back, but this is a disaster for them. That's the main damage dealer against the Immortal that they just lost.
17 seconds before Vala even gets back into the fight, and Tricked Esport is forced to play very reserved while Greymane just chunks away the Immortal on the left, getting it down to half HP. Lumby's looking for an engage here on Nappe or Eternal. That would allow Narok to go in for an engage, but Nappe and Eternal playing so safe here and behind Alex Aproji.
Yeah, always the shields from Hazov. So now here we go. Vala is back and they need to somehow burst this. It was very unfortunate because so far has played actually extremely well and put a great amount of attention to what's his positioning, and that really helped. But now they need to somehow try and make up for what they just lost. A victory in the teamfight is basically the only thing that they can pull off here, and Eternal is already trying to apply damage to the backline, which is not really easy for him, with Lucio healing everyone up this fast. But yeah, they are just looking for an opening here.
Narok keeps getting poked by Eternal, but Splendors keep bringing out the heals, constantly being near him, the force of will for the saves if need be. Darkmonk pokes on top of Lunara, and we're now back in this war, this tug of war between our two teams, waiting for one member to make a mistake.
Yeah, and who's that going to be? Once again, they're moving in right here. Hazov with the shields constantly the entire time. Darkmonk looking for an opening. There's the portal. Could use that. Moves in. Leyline only hitting one. That's not enough for now. They can't really engage into this. Darkmonk eating the damage. Crosby getting pumped. Eternal is on point, but not triggered. They're going again. Lunara is blown up, and that's a big deal right now. Team Liquid is on the move forward.
Team Liquid just barely capitalized on mistakes, getting 1 kill, but that 1 kill is enough for them to set up on the Immortal phase. Tricked Esport is forced to be in a spot here to set up defense around their Immortal phase. Darkmok should be able to heal on up with the aid of his teammates. They're going to clear out the bottom and the top so they can get closer to level 20, but we should be seeing some pokes coming in from Nurok in particular here with that Li Ming.
Yeah, it's actually like Team Liquid is playing this really slow. They go back home first, they get mana again. They know that when they go back into the fight, they will still have the upper hand because of their health and mana pools. So they try to go for that. Nurok is still in there. They apply a bit more damage to the Immortal. Knappe is ready. Lunara back, but by the time she arrives here, the Immortal should already be in the hands of Team Liquid.
That ice block was so good from Knappe, preventing him from getting chunked there by Nurok, but it doesn't matter. They're diving in. Splinter comes in with the boop. Alex Aproji being body blocked and slowly getting low on health. It looks like he should be able to escape. Rimmer comes out with the damage, but the Immortal, Greymane, Darkmok sat back and cleared it up. The first Immortal of Team Liquid will now be awarded here in the late game.
And this is actually, like, if you look at the kills, it's 10 kills against 2. So when it comes to team fighting, Team Liquid is doing way better. Tricked doesn't have to necessarily take big fights and win them. They have been focusing way more on trying to win the Immortal, and they've done exceptionally well up to the point where we saw Vala die first. That took a lot of the pressure away against Team Liquid's Immortal, and Team Liquid capitalized on it. They played it slow even, and they did it very, very well. Now they can push in with an Immortal that scaled quite nicely into the late game. We're 22 minutes in, so that beast does damage. And also, if you look at the experience, they are actually getting closer and closer to pick up the 20, and getting the towers down could maybe with an additional wave already be enough to give them a lead in talents.
That 20 means Tricked Esport has to have a solid defense. They cannot afford another mistake here where that's going to be game for them, as Team Liquid will hit 20 and also get a keep. This is the moment for Tricked Esport. Can they hold Rimmer kiting backwards on Blumby, but with the force of will coming out, Team Liquid does not care whatsoever. As Galdane chunk in, the damage continues to go up.
The keep is gone. Oh, the kill against Knappe again. It's Greymane. He goes in, goes for the throw, takes them down, and they are going in with another leyline seal, trying to make it a double. Eternal is knocked into the air. He's about to fall here. Palms his ally, sacrifices himself. He goes down. That Immortal is going to town on the core though, and this looks like Team Liquid will win the game. Or will they? Nurok eliminated, Rema Baller, their core falls, their game is over. Team Liquid wins it once again. GG!
Nice play there by Team Liquid. It was a nail-biter, 3-2 in the favor for them.
Close.
But Tricked Esports, kudos to you guys. You've been putting in the work, and I'm telling you, it shows. Keep up with it, man.
They're doing so well right now. Team Liquid winning that again, and that was not an easy series.
No.
If you look at the standing, if you only look at stats, you're like, hey, easy.
Yeah.
3-0 right there. And we have such a close game, and yeah, they could have won that.
Team Liquid is now 8-0 currently in the HGC when you look at just the league right now. Obviously, they would love to roll that over into the big global that's going to be happening in a few more weeks, but for now, they have 4 more weeks they need to focus on and make sure they keep securing these victories and continue to stay undefeated.
That was, for Team Liquid, of course, absolutely fantastic. I mean, right now, we are still undefeated. You're getting the points in. It was a rough match, as you could see, so very important to win it. Bit heartbreaking for Trick, to be honest, to see them just like going down with a 2-3 all the time. But that was a very, very strong showing, and I can't wait to see the next game.
I can't believe Darkmok and the confidence he has in his team now. Obviously, of course, they're a team for so long. You got to expect that kind of confidence. But there are moments, as you mentioned, that he was so low on health, and yet he just turned around fights like there was no problem whatsoever. Splendor consistently being there with the heals, Hasselhoff with the force of wills and the clutch moments that they needed them, especially against Lunara, who eventually will break you down if given the opportunity.
It was actually interesting to see during the last few fights when they were making the play for Vala, especially Greymane jumping in. So all of a sudden you could see how Eternal with his charism was focusing on trying to save her, throwing the palms out. And at the same time, they immediately switched away from the Vala towards the Lunara, who was a little bit more isolated and alone, and took her down. So it's just them getting isolated kills all over the place and staggering them. That really helped Team Liquid win this.
Gosh, gotta love gameplay like that. And of course, you can't go. We're talking about Darkmok because he's the one that diving in, getting the aggression. Nurok, too, had a couple of moments where he got the pickoffs that were absolutely needed for his team with the orbs coming in, chunking in the Johanna when he got the opportunity, trying to follow up on the resets. So solid play overall. Now, looks like we're getting ready to talk to Blumby. Blumby, thank you for joining us. Hello, Blumby. First off, congratulations on your 8-0 now, currently in the HGC League. Give me some feeling on that, man. 3-2 against Tricked Esports. They are putting up a fight.
Yeah, they are a really good team, I think, and they showed that last time already where they went 3-2 against us, or rather 2-3. And today as well, like, they keep improving, and yeah, you can see that.
Well, tell me a little bit about a new Barak. You seem to really be enjoying that hero.
I mean, he's just, in my opinion, a bit too strong right now, so I play him, and yeah. I think, I'm not sure if he's overtuned, but he's for sure very, very strong, and I think him and Arthur's are my go-tos right now.
Awesome. Very cool. Caldor, over to you.
Well, the first question is, I already asked Trick that jokingly a little bit earlier, so how much did Nurok pay Hazard so that he wouldn't have to play Hazard this time?
He didn't have to pay anything, but maybe that's just what he says, and like behind our backs there is a deal going on. So.
Yeah, I can see that happening. First of all, congratulations, of course. The one thing heading into the season, did you expect it, or like into the second half now, did you expect actually this match to be a little bit easier? You've been talking about how you feel that Tricked is a great team, but we find them at the bottom of the standings. Do you think they are too low in the standings right now? Did you expect to have an easier time against them? And how do you feel about heading into your next games?
We did expect to have an easier time against them. Like, we obviously want to get as many 3-0s in as possible. It's good for us for the qualification for mid-season. But I definitely think they are underrated in terms of, like, they're way too low in the standings right now, and they should be higher. But yeah, I think it will even out. Like, I think they will show in this second part that they will definitely not go to Crucible, in my opinion, and they will show that they are top 5, top 6, let's see.
Let's talk about another team that is currently sitting in the middle of the standings right now, the Playing Ducks, which you guys are facing off against on Sunday. What are you thinking about the matchup?
I mean, I saw that they boot camped, so I'm not sure how much that influenced them in terms of synergy and stuff, but overall, I think we should have an edge on them. Like, honestly, today, although Trick played really well, I think we also didn't play our best yet. Like, it was still some stuff that we can improve on synergy-wise and combo-wise. We didn't play as well as we could potentially. But yeah, I hope on Sunday we play even better than today, and I think we will beat them 3-0 or 3-1. That's my prediction.
Well, I look forward to your matches on Sunday. Before we let you go, any shout-outs?
Shout-outs to Team Liquid, shout-outs to all our fans, everyone who is watching, and shout-outs to my team for carrying.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time again. A big congratulations to Team Liquid, currently 8-0 in the HGC, keeping that top spot on lock for them. So, man, crazy to think that they just aren't playing as well as they think that they can. They got more to improve upon, and that's the mark of a good team. And it's really cool to hear that from them. That's
one of the things that they've always excelled at, just like being very critical about what they need to change, how they can improve, and where they can maybe just like get a few more ideas about how to play differently and adapt. So yeah, that's one of the things that's pretty cool to watch, just this process over time. And they're going to play on Sunday against the Playing Ducks. That'll be a fun matchup. The Playing Ducks is another team that I'm starting to cheer for a lot. Chris and the boys have been putting in a lot of work. We'll go ahead and get more HGC Europe tomorrow. HGC North America is coming up next.
Members dead here. Tiger's clone is going to be going down. Same with Savage. 5-0 wipe here. Oh, even the Bolt roof. My goodness.
Oh, oh no.
Mary Day. Mary Day is a legend.
Nature is not always kind.
Gotta make sure they don't group up versus that combo because it will obliterate them.
It may happen again here if they actually try to force this. Look at this, Jess Tist and Kyocha going to help buy time for the rest of the team to rotate up. They're going to get the kill on Y. 3v5, mind you. Here's the Void during Cap, and here comes Malpure, and he's coming up here. They're going to try to steal this. There's a palm that goes down in the sink. They're unable to get the steal, but they were so close. They still get the kill on Jin Zhao top there with a Saphira smash, and this actually very well may be a wipe with resets galore here. And in fact, this camp is not even capped yet. They didn't even get it, and Black is starting with a 2v5. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you